What's up, YouTube? We are back for Love and Hip Hop Hollywood Reunion Part 2. So let's go ahead and just jump into this shit and get it done. Alright, so the reunion, it picks up where last week's reunion left off. And that was with, April trying to clock Boog. Now, they never did say what the blog said about the fact that J Boog slept with Omarion's mama, Mama Leslie. But they're talking about how Boog always owns his shit, and I'm gonna say what the issue is. The issue with Teeny Fizzlepop in April is it's the fact that you guys sat there and lied this whole entire season. Nobody would have given a fuck about y'all messing with each other if y'all had to just kept it real from the beginning. And he also says that when it came to the group, just like Teeny Fizzlepop had his issues with Omarion, Boog had his issues with O. Raz had his issues with O. They all had issues with O. And so yeah, he says he's cool on those two. And then Jason Lee chimes in. He says that he thinks that April is fake as fuck. I agree. I think she's fake as fuck, and I think Teeny Fizzlepop is fake as fuck. And then we see Moniece. She's backstage talking to Kendall. I don't really know why we needed Kendall. No shade to him, but I just don't understand what we really needed him for. So, Moniece comes back on the stage, and so Jason, he says that they were friends, and Nina asked, basically, does Fizz feel like he, at any point, need to sit down with anyone, and I'm thinking she's talking about Moniece, and had a conversation with her? He says no, because this stuff that happened with him in April, it happened after the tour was over, and I'm like, bull fucking shit. This shit was happening before the tour. I'm like, oh my God, after the tour was over, this was during the tour. Oh, they are so annoying. Him and April are absolutely fucking annoying. I'm so glad that this season is over with. I hope Mona does not bring those two back. I mean, what storyline will they have? Because no one's interested in them at this point. So Moniece says that basically she just doesn't give a fuck about April or, Teeny Fizzlepop being in a relationship, which they beg to differ. And she says all she cares about is Cam. And, she says coming into the season, she didn't even have an issue with them. She tried to have a conversation with, April and say, it's nothing. And April's like, but yeah, you went on social media. You was talking about congratulations are in order for April Jones and Teeny Fizzlepop on their situationship, which she did. She was being shady. She was being shady, you dumbass. And then, April talking about how she said that she was pregnant. Again, it's on social media. Oh, God. I want it to end. I really do. And then, April got some big ass balls, and she told Moniece to shut the fuck up. I was like, oh, okay. Is that what we doing? Like, and then they talk about the timeline with these two, and it is just really fucking draining at this point. I'm over those two. So then we move over to Zell, and he says he don't feel like he was being messy at all when it came down to the shit with those two when they were in Vegas and he took those pictures. And he says, Jason Lee said he was gonna pay him, and Jason was like, I beg to differ. He says, I was doing the Lord's work. And Jason says how he had a respect for Teeny Fizzlepop, and that it basically is his job, to do the gossip, which it is. And I don't think anybody can be mad at him because it is his job. The only person that really got mad at him this season was, Tony the Tiger, Tigger. I don't know why this nigga got his stomach out. He looks a hot fucking mess. So then we also find out that Teeny Fizzlepop checked, Jason Lee backstage. Yo-Yo and I agree on this whole situation. You sat there and called her. You sat there and called her a fake ass bitch. You disrespected his woman. If he didn't stand up for his woman, he would be a punk ass bitch. Which he didn't stand up for his woman last week when Zell said that, shut up talking to Paris like that, I'm gonna beat Teeny Fizzlepop ass up. He was quiet. I think that nigga might just be high as fuck, and his reaction time was slow. So I was in agreement with her, with Yo-Yo in that situation. So then we talk about Moniece, and Moniece talking about how she feels like she's stonewalled. after she's, trying to communicate in the way that Teen Fizzle Papa wants her to communicate. And he is such a punk ass bitch. Like he just talked down to her, and then he even told her that if she feels like she can't take care of their son, that when she's having her mental breakdown, that maybe she needs to give up her responsibilities as a mother. And I'm like, that is low as fuck, my nigga. And I was so happy that Booby stepped in and said, you doing this to her. The only person that's affected by this situation is Cam. And I really respected him for that. Like that. Oh shit, I just made my eye fucking red. God, Lord, please don't tell me I got the pink eye. Cause my eye just turned so fucking red. Shit. Let's move on, you guys. Alright, you guys. So next, let's move over to Brittany B, Sia, and Little Lyrica. And why the hell is Sia here? Sia was only on a few episodes of this season, so I don't know what the reason Sia is on this reunion for. I feel like Sia did what Ariane did all those seasons on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta when she paid for her way to go to New York that one season. When for this actually, there was one season when they filmed in the reunion in Atlanta, but after that they went to New York. And I feel like that's what Sia did. Since Sia lives in Atlanta, Sia just said, fuck it, I'm coming to the reunion. Why? Don't know. So we talk about the beef between Little Lyrica and Sia and Brittany B. So, the whole thing is Brittany B says that Sia had introduced her to Little Lyrica, and then, they all hung out. Sia says we never hung out like that. And, then Brittany B says that a producer asked her to choose a songwriter to come in the studio with her, and she chose Little Lyrica to go to the studio with her. And then the next day, she said that Sia had an issue with it, and Little Lyrica says that is true. Not all the way true, but it is true. She says what happened is, Brittany B did do that. I called Sia to, since Sia and Brittany B were cool, I called her, told her what was going on. Now, she said Sia's thing was the fact that, she and Brittany B, they would text each other or call each other, don't know which one it was, but she just felt like, oh shit, excuse me, y'all. So, she just felt like that wasn't right. And then, Sia's like, well, when it came down to Little Lyrica, Brittany B begged me to introduce her to, Little Lyrica. And, then she started acting funny after that. And then after that, all hell just broke loose with those three. They just started screaming, going back and forth. Sia jumps up. Brittany B hops up. Sia throws a pillow at her. It was just mad fucking chaos. And eventually Nina was like, you know what? We ain't getting no fucking where. Let's just cut this shit and move the fuck on. I'm like, thank you, God, for the small favors. So, let me ask this question. So, when they, at one point, I guess Pam went backstage and did a wardrobe change. Why? I don't know. But let me ask the question of why was No Man Pam sitting in that front row with her legs just spread wide open? I'm like, girl, you're not sitting in some stirrups. Why are your legs like your legs are cocked wide open? Your legs wider than my legs are open. I'm a man. But, we're going to let No Man Pam have it. We're just going to let her have it. So let's move on, you guys. All right, you guys. So I am going to group K Michelle and Yo-Yo together so that way I can just knock this shit out and get it over with. So we talk about Yo-Yo getting back into the game. So Yo-Yo says that she was nervous getting on stage, and she just found it kind of hard getting in the studio. Trying to bridge this generational gap, so to speak. And I understood where she was coming from. And you see it a lot on social media when these young kids, when like Shade Room posts older artists and these young kids talking about, oh, who is that? And they're very disrespectful to the older artists. And I'm just like, wow. Like these artists that y'all cape for today, like especially some of these rappers, some of these older rappers and these older singers, like some of these people that you guys cape for, some of them mimic styles from back in the day. And if it wasn't for some of the people that came before them, there would be no, like some of these people that you guys listen to today. I don't know. Some of the, because I pretty much for me, I listen to old school music. I listen to music from the 2000s, the 90s, the 80s, and stuff like. I listen to older music. I don't. I listen to a little bit of today's music, but I listen to mostly older music. So yeah, and I listen to some classical music. You know, I listen to some jazz. I listen to pretty much all genres. But yeah. So you know, and they talked about Yo-Yo School of hip hop, and she talked about why she did it. And one of the things that stood out to me was the fact about the literacy issue that we have today, which that is it is true, and it's crazy how you see a lot of these rappers and people that make some good music, but completely illiterate. They can't form a sentence to say their lives. They can't spell to say their lives. So it's interesting, and I actually have some friends that I went to school with. Like I have a friend that he's a good friend of mine. When we were in high school, he was a star football player. He was a star football player on the high school football team. But spelling and grammar was just not his thing. When it came down to spelling and grammar, and I hate to say it, but his spelling was much worse than a child who's like in the second grade. Because there were certain words that I'm like, wow, that's an easy word to spell. Because I would look at some of his. I would help him with his. We had an English class together, and I would help him with his English work, and I just like, damn. Like you spell, I have to tell him, I'm like, you spelled that wrong, right? He's like, I did. I'm like, yes, you spelled that shit wrong. Try again. So it is true, but it's sad nonetheless. And then she also says the problem with these young kids today is they live a whole lie, which that's true. We see it all the time on social media. People put up a fake facade on social media all day, every day. So then we move over to K. Michelle. She says that when it comes down to her country music, she'll be working in Atlanta and in Nashville. And she says, when she made her comment in Nashville, she don't give a fuck what people say. She said what she said. And then we talk about the ageism again, which I agree with everything that they said. And, they asked her about IVF. So she's going through her last round, and whatever God says it for her, it's for her. And she's also looking for another surrogate. Thank God she's not using that girl. I don't know why she would want to use her in the first place. But, I don't, maybe it was a storyline. I don't fucking know. Let's move on to close this shit out. All right. And then I'm going to wrap this shit up in a bow. We talked about the trip to Vegas. It wasn't much to that. Ray says he was there for the baby's birthday. The baby's birthday was on a Thursday. He went out to Vegas on a Sunday. That's it for that one. Little Lyrica was happy that Clutch and Pearls came to Vegas. He said something about Vegas. I don't give a fuck what he said about Vegas. Let's move on and close this shit out. So we talk about the whole situation between Brittany B, Zell, and Paris. Brittany B says she never had a problem with either one of them, but the thing was with her event that she had, the fact that Zell brought Paris there was disrespectful. Do I agree with her? Yes. But it was a public place, but it's stupid. The whole situation with those three is stupid. I do agree with Brittany B, the fact that she says that Zell comes out women, because I do see it a lot. Like on one of those Check Yourself, the season finale Check Yourself, when it was a scene with him and Paris, and they were talking about K. Michelle. Now, granted, K. Michelle and Paris have their issues, but why does Zell feel the need to jump in on it? And then in his Check Yourself, he's talking about he can smell her pussy, and he was talking about something else, and I'm just like, why are you? Now that's what I did not like about that whole Check Yourself. The fact that he's sitting there talking about K. Michelle's pussy. Have you ever been near K. Michelle's pussy? First and foremost. If the answer is no, don't speak on shit like that. Like, that is so fucking, that is disgusting as fuck. Like, so fucking nasty. To talk about another woman's body, not another woman, to talk about a woman's body part, and you are a fucking man. Low as fuck. Like, so Brittany B tries to take the high road with Paris and Zell, but Paris ain't trying to hear it with her big pumping, spice looking ass. And, she's like, you know what, I apologize. You can either take it or fucking leave it. And that's where the episode ends, with them arguing with each other. And that is it for part 2 of Love and Hip Hop Hollywood's reunion. Next week is part 3, the final part. I don't know why we needed 3 parts. to this bullshit. But you guys, be sure to like this video, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification button so you guys know when I drop anything, and I will catch you guys later.